The problem with being an artist in the art community. Let's see. Tell me.
Being artists, but then
My sketchbook before art school.
in
Okay.
actuality, they get overwhelmed by so many different feelings and
After.
insecurities, and this resonated with me
Wait. They just. Okay.
so much, and I just couldn't stop thinking
Nothing's
about how
new.
literally everything they said in the
Oh.
video is true.
I love being an artist. I am not good enough. I am jealous of other artists. I am a hater of my own art. But despite that, I'm hard on myself because I can. Bro, really? All I gotta say about that is like, it's not compared to your stuff with other artists. Like, everybody has their own art style, and you just gotta find your niche and kind of go from there.
I think perfectionism in art can be explained in a lot of different ways from artist to artist. But from my experience as a
I don't try to
person
be
who's
perfect at
struggling
all.
with overcoming perfectionism, most artists share similar experiences when it comes to just how perfectionism affects our art. I scrolled through TikTok and watched quite a number of videos from different amazing artists, and
My inner
regardless of
child that
where
loves
they
to
were in their
draw.
careers or their skill level, they were all basically saying the same thing when they shared their thoughts or were talking about how they were dealing with perfectionism. I like to think of perfectionism as the idea of chasing a drawing without flaws where everything is pretty.
Nah, man. Imperfection is great for artists. Like, stop trying to be perfect, dude. Especially when you do traditional art, leave the imperfect. Like, your main goal should be is the cool. That's literally it.
Much rendered
Just
correctly
look
with
cool.
accurate proportions and color,
I'm
but
telling you,
then
the
never
jump public
ever
ain't gonna
reaching
notice
this
it.
goal because it keeps on shifting farther away from you the closer you get to
Just have fun
accomplishing
with
it. I just can't properly explain it. It's a feeling. But there are some clear signs I have noticed about being a perfectionist. You criticize yourself more than everyone else. You obsess over little details. You get stuck when you fail. You plan everything but barely start anything. You never feel fulfilled even after meeting your goals. If this happens to describe you or anyone else you know, then I'm sorry to tell you, but it seems to me like you're a perfectionist yourself. Now, I know there's some gray areas where these traits might be found in some artists who may or may not be perfectionists themselves, but I just try to sum up all the little habits I have noticed from my artist friends and a little bit from myself, which I think could be telltale signs of people experiencing perfectionism. Please feel free to explain what being a perfectionist means to you, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who has been suffering this silently. Artists who experience perfectionism usually feel like anything they draw or create never feels good enough to them, no matter how hard they try. You're always stuck in an endless loophole of trying to make a
Yeah, actually, I got over that in a recent time. Is that Adult Swim? It's the reason why I kind of got over that is because like I could make artwork like this now. It's like, what do you mean? This is simple. That's the point. I always thought as an artist, you always had to do like more like super detail work, like with a bunch of colors, detail, line work, concept, whatever you want to call it. Like you just had to like really gotta like put it in there, right? Like in every single art piece. But then I realized that's not the case for every single art piece, especially if you're doing a certain series, right? Like for example, this series called the Versus series, right? This series is not meant for it's not meant to be a super detailed every single character series, right? It's just meant to be a simplistic art style where has almost every single character, and you're gonna notice every single character because they're not like super detailed, right? So they're not gonna like be like super like they're not gonna disappear within the image, right? Because what people say, if you do too much detail, too much like shading or line work, whatever, it's gonna pretty much like make your artwork smudge. I'm sorry saying like a lot. I don't know why it's in my vocabulary a lot, but it's gonna like you're not gonna really fully tell what you're looking at. And I learned that from making emotes. And so yeah, I said, oh, you know what? What if I just make a simplistic style for the Versus series instead of just try to go trying to do too much, and it works and it fits. It's like okay, cool. I'll stick with that. And this is just one part of my series. Not like this is all I do, even though it's been recently. But I could do a lot more, and people would already know what I could do, and other artworks I've done with like more detail, more of like shading, etc. But again, this is a different style, and that's what people need to realize. Like you have different styles that you don't have to always do super extremely crazy detail on every single art piece, especially if you're like me who does different series.
Drawing that you're proud of without it necessarily being the best drawing you have ever made, but at least just being able to make a drawing that meets the expectations you have set for your art within the limits you
I
have
mean, this time to raise a
unconsciously
little
created
painting.
for yourself
I
based
spent
off
an
of how well
hour.
you can draw or how
Oh
good
my
your art
god.
is. This constant self-evaluation and being judgmental and hard on yourself indirectly leads you into a downward spiral of depression and anxiety
you never get
every
a
single
lot of
time
things
you want to
done.
start a new drawing. And sometimes you just end up not even finishing your drawings because every time you just take a look at your drawing, you immediately convince yourself that it isn't good enough, so what's the point of finishing it? I found this video on TikTok that explained perfectionism in a way that I feel every artist should be able to relate to.
Perfectionism is actually a defense mechanism that says to us, hey, if you look perfect, do perfect, and accomplish perfect, you can avoid or minimize shame and judgment and blame. So perfectionism is not about striving for excellence or being our best selves. It's how we self-protect. So have you ever gotten that feeling when you're going to start something, you're like, oh God, this has got to be perfect? So I think the question to ask is, what am I afraid of? There's a great Aristotle quote. If you don't want to be criticized, do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. Most of us choose not to live that way. No one can contribute what you can contribute but you.
I can't explain how much I love the video, and just how she explained perfectionism was
That's actually
perfect.
cool. Yeah, that's actually perfect. Yeah, you don't want,
I just
if you don't want to be
talked to a
judged,
mom, one of
then
my
don't create anything.
friends who had their Facebook.
So we're going to use the video I showed in the beginning from this amazing artist on TikTok as talking points, and the reason why I want to talk about it is because it resonated with me so much, and judging from the number of comments on the video and all the replies other artists were leaving under them, it seems a lot of people resonated with it as well. So go show the artist some love and follow them on TikTok as well. The first problem people who experience perfectionism go through is not feeling good enough. I feel like every artist I know feels this way. No matter how good your art looks to other people, deep down we always tell ourselves we're not good enough. And I think as artists we always tell ourselves this because it keeps us grounded and helps us try to see areas in our work where we could improve on, even when we think we're getting better. Every single time I make a drawing and finish it, after the first few minutes of looking at it and smiling to myself, wondering how I was able to even draw as good as this, the next minute I'm already looking at the drawing in total disgust and religiously hating everything I've drawn in my entire life. Now, while this may be a good thing since it subconsciously makes us want to improve our art, it also doesn't allow us to appreciate our art and the progress we've made so far, which is pretty important, especially for artists who are far too critical and judgmental about their work. The next problem is being jealous of other artists. Now, this isn't something I experienced personally while developing my art, but I know for a fact that sometimes artists could just be jealous of other artists, but not like in a bad way.
I was like that when I was younger.
It's
Yeah.
honestly just as a result of comparing your art to another artist all the time. Comparing your art to other artists is a good way to track your progress and set certain expectations for yourself and your art. But doing it too often or even all the time can end up making you hate your own work and slowly become envious of other artists without even knowing it. You just start acting salty every time you see their work, and it's not even your fault. You've just been comparing your art with them for too long and you can't even help it at this point. I found this artist on TikTok that spoke about this and shared their progress from where they started out to where they are now, and I just loved the message they shared in the video.
Hi, it's my birthday and there's something I want to show you. This was one of the best drawings I could do when I was a kid. I loved drawing people's faces and I loved drawing Star Wars. And this was one of the best drawings I could do after I'd been in art school for a few years. And this is what I can do now. And stuff like this and this. What I'm saying is I value them all equally. I have a higher skill level now, but there's good things about those first drawings that will never change and will always be there. So to anyone who's comparing yourself to another artist, or you're like, oh my god, I'm not good enough, or you're embarrassed about your past work, don't compare yourself to other people. Know that what you created has value and it represents you at a very special time in your life, and it's completely unique, and more importantly, it's yours. So love it and cherish it, and there's no reason you can't value something with a higher skill level and still love what you've created because it's special and nothing can change that.
The next problem is being too hard on yourself. Wow.
True.
I don't think I've ever been called out this much in a
Yeah, I think especially nowadays, a lot of people are overthinking it. Especially a lot of artists are now very nervous nowadays because of AI. Um, and I can understand that. I could understand that. It's like it sucks. It's like fuck, dude. Like, but I think at the end of the day, people should just really just take a breath, figure out what you want to do, and wait, what? Thank you for submitting your review request. The label has been removed because your account was not found to contain spam or get you on the type of platform manipulation. Oh, okay. So they took it out. Okay, so I'm good now. I'm back in the algorithm. What do you want to call it? There you go. My bad. But yeah. Like the whole like idea, because you know what's crazy? I actually look at my all of my art, like my old art I have on my PC, and I find new ideas based on my old art to make new art for right now. That's how I get some ideas every time. If I have like an art block coming, or if I have like when I'm thinking of a brand new series to work on, because that's what I usually do now. It's like I'm not trying to be what everybody else is doing, or like trying to get like super crazy detail, because you don't have to do that in order to be successful. You just gotta figure out what makes you, what you could create and what you could push out, and put it to the world. And that's what I develop my style, where I also do series, where every time I do like a 5-10 artwork series, and then I move on from it, and I go back to it later, some way in some form. But that's what I usually make art. It's like I always do a series of like 5 or 10, and then I continue doing that from rotation, because I do from drawing, and then I do another series, then I do digital of the set series, then I do another drawing, and you get the idea. It's like a whole rotation. That's why I never really get artist block, and that's why another reason why I'm never like, oh man, I want to do some more digital work. That's what, like, when I do this, when it's like more simplistic, I'm like, this is the more simplistic style, guys, because again, this is my art style. I'm not doing how Cartoon Network looks,
single video like this in my entire life. If there's one thing I know how to do pretty well, aside from drawing male characters in questionable poses on the internet for my starving subscribers to leave comments like caked up with the peach emoji, is being pretty hard on myself. Pause. I'm literally so hard on myself for the most simple things possible, and it's so annoying. I'm always constantly thinking I could do better or I didn't do enough, no matter what it is I'm doing. And when it comes to art, I'm my own biggest critique and least supporter. I'm constantly looking for faults in my work and being so hard on myself all the
I don't
time.
do that
And I'm
anymore.
sure a lot of you are hard on yourselves too, especially when it comes to how much progress you're seeing in your work. It's
Yeah, I don't
normal
do
to
that anymore.
forget each artist learns in a different way than the next artist, and sometimes some artists just tend to improve faster than others, and that's fine too. Everyone's pace is different, so be patient with yourself. I went through the comments on the video and I found a lot of artists expressing how they feel about their art, and for some reason I think most artists have tendencies of becoming perfectionists just because of how many artists were relating to the video and saying it resonated with them. I try so hard not to get jealous of other artists, but when their art is so drop dead amazing, I start wondering if I'll ever be that good. I think it's normal to feel this way when you see people with really good art, but instead of letting it put you down, allow it to inspire you, and remember, everyone is on a different journey. So focus on yourself, King. You're doing great.
Oh my
I love
God.
art so much, but every time I do it, I hate what I've made and I just cry because I'm never going to be good enough. Oh, my poor little thing. Please don't cry anymore. You're doing great. You're making amazing progress and you're doing just fine.
Cry,
make
man.
sure you're practicing art consistently.
I would say stop being a bitch, stop overthinking it, and just do art. Fuck, man. Stop overthinking it. It's annoying.
It doesn't have to be every day, but try to find a schedule that works for you and consistently practice the fundamentals of art. Draw things you naturally derive pleasure from and always try to improve something in the next drawing. I want to quit drawing because seeing younger artists make good art makes me jealous of their art. Now I've seen comments like
Bro,
this
I
in the
used to
past,
do that
especially on a video
when I
like
see people like a 13-year-old or like you said 13, like a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, like who doing like realism artwork that does like super crazy detail artwork. I'm like, bro, why the F am I an artist? But then I realized it's because they're overseas. They're way more talented than us.
made one time of a 13-year-old kid who had really
Also
amazing
prodigy
drawing,
too as
and it
well.
made me realize that some artists are conscious of their age in respect to how good their art looks, so they feel ashamed of their work when they see an artist younger than them making drawings far better than what they were making at that age. But what most people fail to consider every time they start to feel like this is that for some of us that started drawing years ago, we didn't have access to as many tutorials or technical resources that kids who are
then
starting
today,
drawing
yeah,
now
yeah.
have access to.
Yeah,
Nowadays,
today.
there's so many different options to learn from.
But the crazy thing, a lot of new generation artists are doing the same thing what everybody else is doing. They need to like get out of that right now because they're falling into a I won't say an art trap, because if you look at a lot of the TikTok stuff, a lot of them are doing realism. Like almost like literally, well, it seems to me majority of them look like they're doing realism, or they're just doing copy paste artwork. They're not doing anything special like the rug art. And it's just been growing and growing and growing. It's like, yeah, they're not gonna make it, dude.
And tutorials literally everywhere for anything you want to draw or paint. So it just makes sense for young artists who are dedicated to drawing to experience growth at a much faster rate than artists who started out years ago with little to no access to solid tutorials they can learn from online. So don't be too hard on yourself. Anyone can learn art at any age and be good at it as long as you put in enough time to practice. A lot of the other comments were artists just acknowledging everything the video said and the message at the end. And to be fair with you, I think a lot of artists on TikTok are suffering from perfectionism more than you can imagine, because the TikTok art community has become such a mess where artists are scared of posting their art because for the most part, all they receive in the end is just unnecessary hate and bullying if their art does not meet up to the unrealistic standard of art that people on TikTok superimposed on.
If you're online, you just gotta gotta figure out how to navigate online, because there'll always be haters, there'll always be weirdos, there'll always be people attacking you. It's part of the internet. You're never gonna get rid of it. So just gotta be honest about that. And if you cannot handle that, do not be online until you could handle it.
On every artist who wants to share their art on the app, and this unrealistic expectation for every young artist or beginner artist to automatically post their first drawing, which happens to be the best drawing they have ever made, in turn slowly makes them become perfectionists just because they're trying to please people who really do not care about you or your art journey and are just there to while away time and annoy people with their opinions.
What?
Hi, I'm Andy
Damn it!
Lyons, General Counsel at the DNC. We just sued President Trump and Doge.
What do you do if you suffer from perfectionism?
I think
okay?
perfectionism is not a habit artists could totally force quit, but there are ways you could gradually help yourself improve on it and slowly overcome your underlying perfectionist.
I will say this: one way to what up, Kim Jong? How's it going? One way to get over the perfectionism is just finish the artwork you're working on. Stop and finish it. Don't stop and finish the artwork you're working on. Because I've seen a lot of artists, where like they start a project but they never finish the project. I'm like, why the f are you moving on from that project? You know what I mean? I think people need to start getting used to and having that feeling of finishing a project. I think that's like one of the biggest problem with artists right now. It's like you gotta finish it even if you don't like it, because at the end of the day you're gonna learn from it pretty much. That's exactly what I did with like when I did human artwork for a little bit, right? When I was learning how to do human characters, and more in my art style. And when the way I did Rogue is not the best, even the second version not the best either, but it's a lot better than it was before, right? Because I got used to it and I'm getting used to it and I'm learning from it. Thank you so much. Can I have a T vibe and then try to get some hours of rest, some T vibe. What kind of tea though? Have you got? Everyone's busy. I got a little bit sick. I'm dealing with my stomach issues, and it worked. So, but we are relaxing now. Right now, we're just relaxing, doing art, streaming, all that good stuff. Let's see. There you go. Oh, really? Isn't that like to like make you go to sleep? Am I wrong with that? I feel like Ed, and Eddie grew up to be drug dealers. I mean, they're hustlers, bro. They're hustlers. It's like that's like the whole cartoon is based on. It's like you can literally replace what's it called oh, what was the candy called, man? Oh my god, I forgot the candy's called. Well, anyways, you could literally replace the candy for like marijuana or something like that, dude. Like we need to, we need to make money in order to get buy some weed or some shit. Like
1.
Jawbreakers. There you go. Yeah, Jawbreakers.
Consistency.
Yeah.
The one thing that discourages a lot of artists from actually starting a drawing or getting anything done is their constant fear of committing to something. Building a habit of consistency will not only help you become disciplined, but it will help you get comfortable with making something even if it sucks. Which is why PewDiePie was able to make progress with his art in such a short amount of time. 2. Quantity over quality. At least for now. The idea that you have to make a perfect drawing every time is what forces a lot of artists into becoming perfectionists. Every single time I try to start a new drawing or an image, before I even draw the first line, I have already subconsciously scared myself anxious because I'm just constantly thinking of not making a mistake while starting, and I'm just trying to make the drawing better than my last. I notice a lot of other artists on TikTok leaving comments and sharing their experiences, saying they also feel pressured every time they have to start a new drawing or whenever they just have to continue a drawing they already began, but got stuck because they couldn't find a way to finish it or were too afraid to.
Yeah, like they're doing too much. Like, do something, man. I remember because I remember when I started this series, the Versus series, right? I remember I was like, damn, dude, I'm not really doing a lot of detail work at all because these are more simplistic characters or line work that I'm doing, and I'm like, damn, dude, I'm not doing really great as an artist because I'm not really creating anything crazy. But then when I realized, it's like, no, this is pretty cool. People actually like it. Also, it's like this is a cool more simplistic style that I like doing because it's like it's still challenging in so many ways because I'm trying to figure out an art style for a cartoon. They already do cartoon only art style, but I have to figure out to make it different from said cartoon, but also be familiar from said cartoon that mixed with my art style. So it's like that's where it's kind of like the challenge is at, and that's where I'm having fun with it. I don't know why they're accepted with jawbreakers. They're not good. Those efforts got me to buy a big one, made my tongue bleed. Oh no, yeah, dude. Like jawbreakers. Yeah, dude. Like I don't understand jawbreakers now. I do remember trying jawbreakers, dude. Like yeah, you can't even eat them. You cannot bite them. That's like you're only supposed to lick them. That's it. Just lick, lick, lick. Wait, pause.
Finish the drawing just because they're not confident with how it will end up looking because something just doesn't feel right in the drawing. This feeling or habit causes me to procrastinate all the time, and instead of sitting down and actually drawing, I end up not doing anything at all just because I'm scared of messing up something I haven't even started. And for the most part, I think it's really impractical. You're going to have bad days where you don't feel inspired and don't even feel like drawing anything at all. And some days the drawings just...
Or you are gonna have bad days where like the artwork that you really want to create, it's not gonna come out exactly how you want to create it. But you have to get through that. You have to get through it, finishing that project and the artwork. You just have to get through that. You like for example, here's an example of me like me doing artwork that I wasn't comfortable with my versus with my art combat series, right? Oh no, it's not the book. Hold on. Get the book real quick. Let me get it real quick, guys. Hold up. Give me 1 second. Oh, here it is. Okay, so yeah, I did these like terrible drawings in my opinion. Where like, let me make this screen bigger. So I used to do a YouTube series called Art of Combat, where the challenge was like I had to draw a character in a different position from the previous character, and there's more challenges to it. But so I started with this, right? Like this is where I was comfortable at. You could tell, like I was comfortable doing these poses or something like this, right? Right? Like I was doing like these, right? And then a I was just like not doing that great because look, in my opinion, this is not great at all, right? Like I don't know what the hell I was doing, but I was still trying it. I just finished it because I had to continue trying. And oh yeah, like look at this one. Look at the body, guys, of this one. It's like what the fudge? Like if I have to make a digital, I have to fix the bottom part half of the video and like I mean part half of this and like tweak it and like to fix the body. Let's see. Hold up. So yeah, you see, like my art style wasn't like I'm still figuring it out. Like I'm still trying to do like my art style within these characters, but they weren't that great. Like even I admit that. Like it's like, I oh my god, this was horrendous. But I still did it because I was like, you know what? I just have to finish it. I just have to like do it right. Yeah, really bad, like really bad. Right, like this is like my bread and butter. Obviously, like this like the sir one, right? That's like not bad, right? But here's the thing, look, hold up. Oh, like these poses, I'm still figuring it out. Like I'm still like practicing these poses, by the way. But yeah, you see that? It's like what the look at Spider-Man. I could have done so much better with Spider-Man. But yeah, like I could have done so much better, dude. I could have done so much better. Um, oh my god, look at Wolverine too. Look at this. Like I said, there's a lot of them I could have done a lot better. But I had to like try and mess around with them, you know? Oh my god, this one was like really bad. Like, but like I said, I had to like keep trying. Like, even if it's not perfect, even though it's not good, like how I wanted to be, I just had to get through these. I had to finish these. I had to like figure it out. I had to like, because again, like this is like my bread and butter. You can tell like where I'm more comfortable, right? Because like the basic pose. Um, but yeah, it's like I understand that the whole idea of like, damn, I don't want to do it because I know I cannot do it, but you have to do it in order to like, get better at it and figure it out, and then you get more comfortable doing it, and then the next time you do it, it'll be better, or at least get a lot easier, and then you figure out from there.
Don't look as good as they used to, and that's totally fine.
Oh, actually, one more thing. Oh, I want to show you guys the comparison. And also, to be fair, it's like my comfortable pose, obviously. But I recently did a sketch for my new stickers. Like, here's the sketch for Vegeta. I don't know if you can see that because it's not inked. Because I don't have a lot of time to put inking. So you see this? This is my Vegeta sketch. You see that? And then here is my Super Saiyan 4 Goku sketch right here, right? You see like the poses are like basic, but they're cool, right? But I'm more comfortable. Like I kind of figure out more my art style now within these characters than ever before because of all the poses that I did, all the characters that I did in the past. Now I know how to draw these characters better, in my personal opinion. Like I feel way more comfortable doing this because like here is a Bardock I did within the series because I play I believe it was Fighters or something like that. I did a Bardock right here. Right? I like it. I like this Bardock, but I feel like the eyes could have been better, or like I don't know, I feel like some things could have been better. But you see, like I have an art style now to make human characters, to make anime characters in my own art style. And that was like so I kinda accomplished what I wanted to do within the first part of the art combat series. But now that I'm gonna obviously push myself even further with the Art Fighter series, which is similar but a little bit different. It's just like all of progress pretty much. And like I stopped overthinking too much, like of trying being a perfect artist. Like I got out of that mindset. Like I'm still insecure some case. Like I keep saying on stream, oh hey guys, it's not the like I know it's not a lot of details, this and that, but it's like my versus series, etc. And then like I gotta like remind people, you know, I was like it's just an insecurity, but I was just trying to get over that.
Another thing I've caught myself doing subconsciously is trying to change my art style or trying to start a new drawing with a new technique I learned after watching an art tutorial or seeing another artist share their drawing
I've done
process.
that.
And I don't even know why I do this for some reason, but it just feels comfortable drawing in another art style when you're not so confident of what you want to draw, or you just feel pressured to start something new. Once you build a habit of consistency and you're comfortable with drawing a little bit every other day, try to make as many small drawings or sketches as you can instead of focusing on making one big piece over the course of a week. Doing this will help you overcome the fear of starting, and once you're comfortable enough, you can start focusing on quality as well. 3. Set realistic goals and expectations for yourself. I think this is the one a lot of artists, and not just on TikTok, need on this list. Stop comparing your work with every single artist you see on the internet. You're not trying to get better than them, so stop making them your competition. Your goal is to become a better artist than you were yesterday. So set a timeline for yourself to improve that is realistic enough for you to achieve. Don't rush yourself and be patient with your progress. Slow progress is better than no progress. I also found this video on TikTok that shares some more habits you could practice that could help you overcome your perfectionism.
Love this question. Here's my success formula as a recovering perfectionist. I want you to know that perfectionism is something that you do, not something that you are. It's not your identity, it's just a habit. And we can change our habits and actually change our lives this way. So, number 1, you need a pattern interrupt. Every time perfectionism wants to take over, catch yourself. So, for me, perfectionism shows an anxiety and the mindset doubt spiral of, is this idea good enough? Is there another way? Is this actually the best way that I can approach my goals? And I just found myself so paralyzed by all these questions. So we need to change your state. And I do that. I use this anxiety because it's energy. It's also a form of energy to get into my body. So what I do is to do push-ups. And while doing it, I visualize myself that the anxiety I pressure it into the earth and it's just out of my body.
Push-ups?
What you can do if you don't like push-ups is actually just stretching, stand up. And
I can't even do push-ups.
Imagine that you just release everything that is not serving you right now. And then number 2, when you change your state and you are more energized this way, I want you to focus on the very next actionable step. What is the one thing that you can do right now that has the most impact? For me, I'm a creator. The video that is out there, I help people live their best life. So the video that is posted will have more impact than the idea on my notes app. Repeat step 1 and 2, and this is how you master the skill, get better at it, and see results.
What are you still doing here? You still have not downloaded Pi Adblock? You know I'm just gonna keep showing up on your screen until you...
I know there are no direct
Stupid
rules
annoying.
for overcoming perfectionism, but personally, these are the little habits that I practice daily that have helped me along the way to slowly become a not so perfectionist artist. You can try them out for yourself and
Yeah, I just
gradually
thought
add
overthinking.
them into your daily routine so they can become habits. I'm sure every artist has heard this
Because my my main goal now as an artist, does this look cool? And I'm not talking about my comic book stuff. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about like my design choices for like art prints, stickers, whatever. Is this cool? That's it. That's like my main goal, right? And then if I mess up something like a line work or I forgot to fill in something, it bothers me a little bit. But for the most part, most people are not going to notice it.
tip or art advice, if you will, which is to take inspiration from other artists' work and compare your art with other artists' work. An artist could be artists you admire or artists that are your peers in a group or like a Discord community, and it could even be just random artists online which you see their work and you literally just want to compare how far you have gone in your own work with theirs, since comparing your work can be a good way to track your progress and to see if you're improving or not. But from what I've noticed, it seems comparing your work with others is doing the reverse effect on some artists, and instead of motivating them to continue making art, it's making them feel like they can never reach the level of the artist they're comparing themselves with at all. Now, this was even much more apparent in a video I made last year where I showed art progress from some young artists from when they were age 5 till when they got to age 13 and 14. And I started seeing comments like, honestly, I can't understand how people get motivated looking at someone's success, especially when that person is so much younger than you. It's devastating and makes me want to break my arms more than anything. I find
You know who went through that? You know who went through that? Naruto. Because if you guys don't know, in the first part of Naruto, and actually the first arc of the Naruto, there was a ninja, a shinobi, who was pretty much their age, but was already a jonin. And then Naruto was like, it's not fair. This is not fair. It's not fair. Wait, hold on. Maybe I could bring out the clip real quick. Yo, what up, Taco Sensei? How you doing? I gotta make some tacos, man. I did buy some chicken to make some tacos. See, Naruto getting, hold up, Naruto getting jealous of Haku. I think that's his name. Let's see. Not fair. Hold up. Can I find it or no? Oh wait, hold up. Haku knocking out what was the ninja's name with the big ass sword? I forgot. Sabuza. There you go. There you go. Where is it? Why can't I find it? I think I found it right here. Is this it right here? That's being animated. Hold up. Is this one? No, that's being animated. Bro, I can't find it. Why can't I find it? It's because like the stupid reanimation ruins the whole thing. Sabuza versus Kakashi first time. Like holy hell, dude. Oh, there we go. I can skip around. Hold up. I think I found it. The taco was aggressive. Hold up.
Ever.
I must deal.
Failed in their mission. Kakashi.
What the fuck? Okay, I give up. Let's move on. I give up, guys. Sorry.
this stuff kind of
I
discouraging.
can't find it.
I saw a
I didn't
video
Taco Sensei.
where there is no way of checking that what he is saying is true. Someone showed their progress from 5
Do I have a
to
taco
14,
email?
and
I
his
feel like I
drawings
did.
are 1,000 times
I made a
more
ramen
accurate
taco.
in shading, anatomy, and everything than mine are.
You know what? I should bring back the taco ramen.
I am 19 and stopped drawing between 11 to 17. And now I feel like I am always behind these guys just because I stopped and that there is no way of catching up, getting better than them, and I know that this isn't a bad thing and everyone betters himself on his own speed, but it still hurts. I would feel so discouraged with my progress because I did the thing, compared myself to others all the time. So from these few comments, you can literally tell that there is definitely a problem here. There is a common theme going on here, and I didn't even have to scroll all the way down to see that most other artists in the comments were also complaining that comparing their work with others was ruining their mental health and mostly just leaving them uninspired and unmotivated to even pursue art anymore. How did comparing your art with other people's art become so discouraging to artists?
Well, guys, what do you guys think about my art? Is it shit? Is it cool? Is it unique?
The website Urban Dictionary defines comparison as an examination of two or more items to establish similarities and dissimilarities. As humans, comparison is a huge part of our lives and just our daily activities in general. We're always comparing items when we're shopping, buying food in a restaurant.
In today's days, comparison, it's like sky up to the space, bro, because of the internet, right? Because you know how people are like showcasing how the rich showcasing how to live. So people who don't have that kind of money, they're like envious of those people and want to be those people, and they want to like they're like for example, it's part of like a 20-year-old that it has millions of dollars, right? And there's someone who's like 20 years old as well, but it's like broke, right? And they're compared to like, bro, they have millions and I don't have shit. How the fuck did they get there and I'm here? Well, what they don't know is like the behind the scenes is like their family has most likely have money, and they're pretty much like the only reason they have like a lot of money is because of their family connections. That's it. It's not because they're unique or different or they've done something crazy. No, it's because they have different opportunities in life. Whether like life's unfair, but like they have a bunch of like money. They have a bunch of access to money and access to connections that a lot of people don't have. And that's why you see like a lot of these nipple babies and stuff like that getting crazy opportunities. And that's why a lot of people make fun of and also hope for a lot of nipple babies to fail because they have so much connection, so much opportunities to make something of themselves. And when they fail at it, I was like, damn, bro, you had all these opportunities and you still made nothing of yourself. That's pathetic, right? So that's why like people need to stop comparing themselves in general because again, that their lives are completely different from our lives. Especially because they have different connections, different kind of like the whole thing. You make colorful and interesting to look at art. See that is my goal for like when I do one-off pieces. Is it cool, unique, and entertaining? That's it.
Comparing gas
Now,
prices,
like, oh my god, this is a crazy
comparing
detail.
clothes to see which suits you better, or even just comparing two people's behavior and attitude. Comparing things is literally a normal thing that every person does, and artists are definitely not left out. Both new artists and experienced artists often compare their work to other artists, especially the ones they admire a lot, or even with their old work just to see how far they have come and also to see if they're improving or not. And sometimes artists compare their work when they're trying to find similarities with an art style they're probably trying to adapt. Comparison is pretty important, especially when you're trying to grow and develop as an artist. And you probably have heard art teachers or professional artists giving younger artists advice to compare their work with other artists, especially really good ones, just solely for this reason most of the time. Even just as a consumer of art or an art enthusiast, you're still comparing what art style is more attractive between Loish and Sam Does Art. Who has a better Instagram account between Sayarine, Ross Draws, and Likelihood Arts? And you're definitely trying to compare who's the best Spider-Man between all three of them. But we all know who that is, right? The point is we're always comparing and contrasting and
I'm the best Spider-Man,
depending on which suits our individual tastes or satisfies a particular need at a specific time. Comparison is part of every artist's growth process, from understanding where you are in your work, then comparing your work with your peers to see what you have to do to improve, to find changes you have to make in your work to make you become a better artist, or just to find techniques you can learn and and adapt in your work to make your art style pleasing or to push your work to look a certain way or a certain direction. Just in itself, comparison is pretty much harmless from an unbiased point of view, and it's mostly always beneficial to the person doing the comparison. But as human beings, things always begin to get blurry along the lines when emotions get involved.
Don't be emotional, guys. Art is not emotion. What the fuck is this? Is he gonna do it? He did it! Wait, what? What the alright. The good, the bad, and the benefits comparison.
Since this video is specifically talking about comparison in art, I'm just going to strictly keep it in that genre and not talk about comparison in general, because it's a really broad topic and we could literally just spend hours talking about why comparing your life with Kylie Jenner is going to send you into a manic depression if you didn't know that already. So first, let's start with the pros of comparison. Comparing your work with your peers or your friends or other artists that are starting art alongside you is a very good way to track your progress and gauge how far you are improving with your work. Even just comparing your old art with your new art is a good way to see how fast you are improving or how far you have come with your work, and it just goes a long way to show you what you should be focusing on if you're trying to improve your work. I know some of you are going to say, oh Mohammed, I have been drawing for a while, I can't see any improvement in my work, I have been drawing for so long but I'm still stuck in the same place. Trust me, you are improving. It's just probably at a slower rate than you would expect, but definitely you are improving if you keep on practicing.
General advice: if you want to improve faster in art, guys, do something new. That's it. Get out of your comfort zone and try some new stuff. That's it. You will improve fast.
Daily and just repeating the fundamentals in everything you do. Another importance of comparing your work with other artists' work is to see the mistakes they're making in their own work and try to cross-check your own work and see if you're making similar mistakes as well. And I know that's probably going to be kind of hard, right? Since you can't spot a mistake in an already perfect image, especially when it's from a professional artist. So the best way to do that will be to go through your own work and then look for areas that feel weird or just look wonky, and then compare that with a professional artist's work and see how they tackle those similar situations in their work. Comparing your work with other artists' work is also a good way to find trends and themes that are kind of popular and cool at the moment, and you're trying to grow your art account and build an audience around your art. Looking at other artists and comparing their art accounts with yours is a good way to see what kind of themes they are using to grow their accounts. Then you can find a way to incorporate them in your own account when you're drawing to help you grow faster. And these themes could be fan arts or drawing challenges or other different things that come up from time to time that could help you promote your art for free. For instance, the draw this in your style is a very popular trend that a lot of artists have participated in, and from what I've noticed, it has helped quite a number of smaller artists with exposure and just helped them grow their accounts, especially when you participate in a bigger artist draw this in your style, and whenever that artist shares the work and yours happens to be in there, you're going to gain some exposure just from that small little gesture. So you can find similar challenges like this if you're trying to grow your art account and participate in them from time to time. On the contrary, comparing your work with artists that are far better than you can also have negative side effects on your mental health. When you start to compare your work with another artist and it begins to become an obsession to the point where you're literally thinking about his work at every given opportunity and you're just letting it consume you, sometimes you just...
I remember when I was streaming, I was looking at my artwork, I was like, bro, I'm so tired of I'm not doing enough detail on my artwork. Let me try to create a super almost tattoo design, and I had to, and it was horrible. It was a horrible experience because I was streaming on I was streaming and being I was streaming and I was pressuring myself to finish the sketch and make it super detailed right away because I was streaming. It was super weird. All right, it was super weird. I don't no longer do that. I mean, there is a thing that I try to avoid nowadays is sketch on stream as much, because I don't I want to make the stream faster and more a better entertaining show, right? Which is, again, that's it's a different kind of thing, right? It's not really a paranoia or oh, I don't want people to see my mistakes kind of thing. No, it's not that. It's just more of if I have the sketch done, at least you get more progress done on stream compared to trying to finish a sketch on stream, because for some reason it takes longer. because especially when you're creating your idea, you're racing, creating an idea, but then you also adding the pressure trying to finish the idea quickly because people are watching you or you're streaming, etc. Right? So it's all over the place.
Begin to lose focus of your own work and then start blaming yourself that you can never be as good as the other artists. You slowly begin to despise them unknowingly, and then you just start to hate them or hate their work every time they make a post or just share a random drawing online. This unhealthy comparison is usually caused by setting unrealistic expectations for yourself, thinking you can become as good as the artist you're comparing yourself with in a short amount of time, totally forgetting that art takes time and tons of practice, and some of the artists we see and admire have been drawing for years before becoming super good at their work. Thinking you can reach that level of work without going through the process like they have is just going to leave you hanging out to dry. Comparing your work with other artists, especially if they're younger than you, from what I observed in the comments from my last video, sadly also leads to artists beginning to undermine themselves, feeling depressed, and thinking they should be as good as the younger artists they're comparing their work with, if not even better. Sometimes things happen in life which can cause you to stop drawing for a while, and there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, it will hinder your growth and progress with your art for some time, but that's just how life is. You can't expect other people to go through life experiencing life the same way as you. So comparing yourself with others is just going
we
to
all
make
in the
you
same
lose
life, guys. We all eat
self-esteem, and then all
tacos.
of a sudden you just begin to feel less of yourself and inferiority complex slowly creeps in.
Goddamn ads. Comparison affects their mental health.
When it comes to their own lives after scrolling through social media for a few minutes, studies have confirmed that Facebook can cause feelings of depression and loneliness, especially among younger people who may be more vulnerable to social comparison. One of the
I literally
issues
talked
with
about that
social
earlier.
media is that people only share a portion of their lives to the public and may leave out feed into a highlight reel and to forget the main reason why you started. The best form of comparison is comparing your new work with your old work. And
Yeah, I feel like he's been repeating a lot of stuff already. Yeah, I mean, it's more just like get over it. Just kidding. No, in all seriousness, it's more of a start overthinking it in that kind of in certain aspects, and also finishing your work, even if it's like garbage or whatever, right? Quote unquote garbage. Because I think you should just finish it and just go with it and just go for, like just do your best with it, right? And then compare to what you did it before and how you did it before from there. And then from there you're gonna start realizing, oh, I should do this better, do that better, do this better. Okay, I can do my line work like this instead of doing like this, etc. Like it goes. The best way to just do that, honestly. This is why I make ugly art. It's not perfect. It might not be something that should be put in a museum thanks to how great and amazing it is, but something that shows my progress. It makes me happy because I don't have to worry if it's perfect. It doesn't matter because I made it for myself to enjoy, not others. Artists have the right to make art for themselves, express what they feel. Like it shouldn't be in all social media. That is also very true. Not every art piece has to be on social media. I have not shared every single art piece that I made on social media because I don't want to. Like I don't need to. Yeah, I don't know. Um, it's not one setting proper goals. When you're aimless. I actually, you know what? I feel like a lot of artists nowadays don't really have an actual goal. Like, what do they want to do with their art? Like, exactly what they want to go for. Like, do you just want to create just to create, which is perfectly fine. Do you want to like one day make your own project? Like, for example, I don't know, an animation show, a book. Oh, guys, 1 o'clock in the morning. A book. Like what is it? Like what is the goal? Like I feel like a lot of people are aimless now too nowadays. Honestly, they just don't know exactly where they want to go, and that's what frustrates them. Like that frustrates a lot of people in general. No, it's a good video.